Once upon a time, there was a stonecutter who was always dissatisfied with his life and himself. The stonecutter was very hardworking, and he used to work day in and day out to make the shapes that were needed by his customers. One day he went out into the forest to work on a big stone. Since it was very hot, it became very difficult for him to work. After spending several hours working, he decided to take a rest. He sat down in some shade and fell asleep. After some time, he heard the sound of someone coming. When he woke up, he saw a long procession of people. There were many attendants and soldiers, and in the middle, there was a king in a palanquin who was carried by strong people. The stonecutter thought it would be wonderful to become a king. He thought he would be very happy if he was a king instead of a poor stonecutter. A strange thing happened as he said these words. He soon became a king and found himself dressed in good clothes and jewels. His hands were soft and he found himself sitting in the palanquin. The stonecutter was excited. He thought how easy it was to become a king as there were several people to serve the king. As the procession moved on, it became very hot. The stonecutter started feeling warm and was not comfortable. He asked the procession to stop to rest for some time. On hearing this, the chief of the soldier bent before the king and told him that the king had sworn to hang him to death if they did not reach the palace before the sunset. The stonecutter felt sorry and ordered the procession to move on. When it was afternoon, the sun became very hot and the king started feeling more and more uncomfortable. Now the stonecutter thought that the sun was more powerful. He desired to be a sun because the sun was very powerful in comparison to the king. His wish was granted, and at once he became the sun. His new power was very hard to control. He shone very brightly and burned up all the fields with his rays, and even turned the ocean into vapor. He formed a great cloud. No matter how brightly he shone, it was difficult for him to see through the clouds. He now thought that the clouds were stronger than the sun and wished to be clouds. His wish was granted again, and he turned into dark clouds. He was very happy and started using his power as a cloud. He caused floods and poured the rain down on the fields. All the houses and trees that there were swept away. There was only a boulder remaining unchanged and unmoved, which he used to cut when he was a stonecutter. The stonecutter now thought that the rock was more powerful than the cloud. He thought that only a stonecutter could change the powerful rock with his skill. He now desired to become a stonecutter. His wish was immediately granted, and he became a stonecutter. The stonecutter picked up all his tools and happily started working on the boulder. Moral of the stonecutter story. In the stonecutter story, we realize that being satisfied with whatever they have and whatever they are is the key to happiness. The feeling of being unsatisfied and wanting to be more powerful has no end. We should not become greedy, and we should be content with whatever God has given us. We should learn to be thankful. Subscribe for more. Like and share.